Okay, so in this approach, we can compare a variable or expression with the collection of elements. Okay, so in our normal switch statement, we were using only one single variable or expression here, but we can use more than one variable in this place. Okay, in this comparison. So this is how the syntax looks like. Switch on variable or expression when. So in the when statement, we are writing only one value in a previous syntax, right? So in this syntax, this is a second type of syntax for the switch statement. So in this syntax, we will be writing multiple values also. Again, if it is like limited number of values, so let's say minimum of 2 or 3 or 4, then we will be preferring the switch statement. But if it is more than 4 or 5, there is no use in writing this one. We can go ahead and make use of the for state, for loop also, right? Yeah. So yeah, limited, not, but yes, more than one we can use it, but it's limited. There is no point in writing multiple things, comma separated. But if it is limited, like in single digit, probably this would be the best case. Okay, so let's go ahead and write an Apex program for this kind of statements. Okay, so write an Apex program to print the season name. Yes, this scenario we did it with other type of switch statement. So let's go ahead. I mean, we have did it before, but let's go ahead and do it with the help of this kind of switch statement syntax. Okay. So all right. So let me go to our developer console and execute anonymous window. So let's go ahead and write down this particular code. Right. So here, what we are going to do is we are going to, so it's just our season name we have to print based on the number of values given, right? So we are going to define a variable, integer, month number. So yep, you can use anything here, 1 to 12 probably. So I'm using 12, let's say. I'm initializing it with 12, and let's write our switch statement as switch on our month number only. Okay, and let's open our braces for the switch statement. So the condition when, so here we can write multiple statements, right? So our problem statement says we need 1 to 4, it's winter season. So we can go ahead and write down something like 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, whereas in our previous scenario we were not doing it this way, right? System.debug, our, which season is this? 1 to 4. This is winter season. Okay, and then the semicolon, right? So we are going to repeat this for the other months. So 1 to 4, it's winter, and then it's 5 to 8, 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8, it's summer. And the next one is spring season. Let's say 9, 10. Spring season. And next is our default block. So when else. What are we going to display here? Invalid month number. Please enter the month number between 1 to 12, something like that. We can enter. Okay. So this is how it looks like, the second syntax. So we can do more than one, we can make use of more than one variables in the when expression. Okay. But again, so as I was saying you, it's, if it is single digit number of expressions, probably this would be okay. But if it is more than, five or more than eight statements, then it's better you go ahead and write the for loop with the help of our logical operator. So yeah, it depends. So depends on the scenario, we would be writing the code. So for now, let's test it. So if it is 1, 2, 3, 4 winter, 5, 6, 7, 8 summer, and 9, 10, 11, 12 spring season. If it is not less than 1 or greater than 12, it should show invalid month number. So now I entered it as 12. So spring season. Okay. So let's go ahead and execute it. Open log, execute, debug only. This is spring season, right? So we are good. So tell me any other number which you want. Yeah, anyone has choices? Let's go with 0. It should show us invalid number, invalid month number, right? Invalid month number. And let's go with 51. Again, the same invalid month number. Okay, so right. So this is how we do our switch statement with the help of multiple values on our when block. Okay, so let's copy paste it here. Right. So the next one is the iterative statements. So let's take an example of, okay, so let's take an example like, let's say I wanted to print system dot, let's say I wanted to print welcome to, so I wanted to print this particular value like welcome to Apex programming. Okay, so if it is one time, I'm going to write this statement as once. If I need it to be printed 2 times, then I'll write 2. But yeah, if it is like limited, probably I can write the statements. Again, this is going to increase the number of lines of code and the number of characters which we are using. But so suppose I have a scenario, I wanted to print this welcome to Apex programming for 100 times. So how we are going to do, right? So that's where our iterative statements comes into picture. So iterative statements are used for executing a block of statements iteratively based on the condition. So till the based on our condition, till the required number of times they are going to be executed. Okay. So by using this, we can avoid the duplicate code, right? So here what we are doing in our case, we are writing the same code for multiple times, right? So if you see the same line of code, I wanted to write it multiple times. So I wanted to print it multiple times. So for that, I don't need um, so I need to write the same code, duplicate code, right? So by using the iterative statements, we can avoid that such kind of scenario. So we can make the application performance, we can improve it, or we can improve the efficiency of our writing our program. Okay. So coming to iterative statements, so we have like so many different types of iterative statements, of which 4 are a part of our Apex programming. So one of them is while statement. The second one is do while. Third one is for statement. And fourth one is enhanced for. So enhanced for, we don't have it in probably we just have only for loop in other programming languages, right? But enhanced for is more effective for statement, which will be used in the real-time scenario. So we will be talking more about the enhanced for loop, right? So of course, we will first complete our while, do while for, and then enhanced for use making use of the enhanced for statement. We need iterative statements, and we also need other data types, okay, so like arrays and all. So once we discuss those concepts, probably enhanced for we will explain in detail. So let's go ahead and do our uh, while statement. Okay, so let me share you. So in order to avoid the repetitive code kind of thing in this case, so we are going to make use of our first statement. Okay, sorry, let me open. Right. So this is iterative statements. So iterative statements, they are used to execute a block of statements, and they are going to avoid duplicate codes, and we can improve the performance. Okay. So when Apex provides the below four iterative statements, while, do while, for, and enhanced for. So all three of them we will be discussing now. Enhanced for in the coming classes after arrays concept. Okay. Right. Again, in the real time, I would say enhanced for is the one mostly used for an enhanced for. Okay. While, do while, yes, we do use it, but it depends on the business requirement, the scenario. Okay. Whether it's a pre-checking or post-checking, we need to decide on that first based on our business requirement, and then we'll be checking. Okay. So while statement, it's a pre-checking iterative statement. While we verify the conditions for executing the statements, it will execute statements till the conditions get satisfied. Once the conditions get failed, then it will comes out of the block. So this is how our syntax for the while statement looks like. So it's a pre-checking statement. Pre-checking, when I say, first it is going to check the condition. Only if the condition is met, then the block of statements are executed. That means we are checking the condition before, right? So that's why it's called pre-checking iterative statement. Okay. So till the conditions are met, this loop will keep on increasing, looping. Okay. The step one is checking the condition. Condition passes, execute the statements here, 1, 2, and 3, and then go ahead and check the condition again, third step. So if the condition is passed, again execute the same. Okay. If condition is failed, then it will come out of the loop, the while iterative statement, and then it will execute the next lines of code after the while statement. Okay. So this is how the flow works in the while statement. Okay. Right. So let's go ahead and do a small assignment for the while statement. So write an Apex program to print the welcome message 5 times on the debug log file. It's very simple, right? Yeah. Right. So what it says, just print the, so we need to make use of the while statement and while iterative statement, and then print a message called any message. Okay. Here to print welcome message, right? So let's define. So for this loop, what all the variables are needed? Anyone can guess for the loop statement? So we need 5 times iteration. That means what we need here. Any guesses?
Like usually you put like I less than or equal to
Right. Okay. So that means the I is what? in other programming languages? Sir,
I equal
count,
0.
count a variable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So let's define a variable uh, called counter. So as I said, integer counter is equals to 1. I'm taking it as 1. So as I said, in other programming languages, we are just writing the variables like I, A, B, C, or X, Y, Z, something like that. But in Apex, I would ask you to write a readable words as the variable names. Okay, so here it's our counter variable, so that's why I'm writing it as counter. Okay, so it should be more readable, right? So that's where your code looks very clean and understandable for even for a person who do not know programming. Okay, so integer counter, right? So let's go ahead and write our while statement. So while, and then our condition. So here is the condition which we have to check. Okay, while. So how many times we need to print while counter less than or equals to, let's say, 5 times or 10 times. Okay, and our loop starts. And what do we need to do? System dot.
Dilip, you're not sharing the screen.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so while and counter less than or equals to 10, and then I am writing the block of statements for the while statement, right? Welcome to Apex World, something like that. Okay, so this is how we are just checking the condition, entering the loop. If the condition is passed, then we'll be executing. So pre-checking iterative statement, pre-checking for the condition, right? Counter variable initialized at 1, and I'm checking. So this should print it for how many times? 10 times, right? So let's go ahead and execute. We will be doing more versions of it. Okay, let's execute. Hope I have all the semicolons. What's happening? Yep, it's all good, right? It's taking more time. Yeah, there is some exception. What is it? Line 6, column 1. What is the issue? So let's find out. Line 6, column 1. Right. What is the issue here? Can anyone guess? So yeah, this scenario also I have to explain you, but can anyone guess what is the issue here? There was a runtime exception. Yes, somebody is talking. Yeah, can anyone guess what's the issue in this particular code?
Like in the system.debug, we are not giving about the counter, right?
You are almost near, but it's not clear.
Mhm.
Right. So we will have to, for the next loop, we have to execute the counter. We have to either increment or decrement the counter value.
Yeah, I remember
Okay,
counter plus plus. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened before is I did not give this. So it was always true. That statement was always true. That's why it was keep on executing, and that's why it took so long time. So and it threw an exception, right? So it was an infinite loop, bad programming. Okay. So we should be, so while writing the loop statements, we will have to be very careful avoiding this kind of scenarios. Okay, and we should also look at our governor limits. Uh, the in we we were making the CPU busy, right? So it will look out for 10 seconds, that is 10,000 milliseconds for it to come out. So it was waiting for that 10 seconds and then it came out. Okay. So and the CPU exception happened. So that's the runtime. So you will have to be very careful while writing the loop. It's not loop, it's iterative statements in Apex. So while writing the iterative statements in Apex, you will have to be very careful. So yeah, so it was in infinite loop. That's the reason it was throwing that exception. So here now it will go ahead or execute only for till the counter value is less than or equals to 10. Okay. So now let's execute. Right. So it's been printing for 10 times, I guess. Yes, 5 and 10. Yeah. Right. So here we have written and the counter plus plus. So that's our increment operator we have used. And then we are printing the statement for 10 times. So, right. So this is how you can write your while statement in your program. Okay. And you should be very careful. This we should avoid infinite loops for CPU exceptions to happen. I'm pasting this one here. So it's good. So hope you understood these 2 lines of code, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Write an Apex program to print the numerical values between 1 to 100. So how do we do this? You are going to help me write the code. Okay. Numerical, we have to print the numerical values from 1 to 100. Print the numerical values between 1 to 100. Okay. So let's go. Yeah. Yeah. You are going to tell me this. How? Just printing 1 to 100. So how many variables I have to define? It's again the same one
Yeah,
counter
it's gonna
variable.
be just the same variable.
Integer counter. Oh, or you can name it whatever. Okay. Counter variable, and we are going to print from 1 to 100. So I'm initializing it with 1. And let's do the while statement. So now tell me, how should I write the while statement? While, and in the condition, what should I write? Anyone?
Counter less than or equal to 100.
Right. We are just printing the counter value. The number is, and we will have to print also, right? So this is the another scenario which I thought to tell you in the previous one also. So we just printed the message there. So here we are making use of the variable also, right? plus counter. The number is initially it's 1. So 1 less than 100, it's going to print the number is ... 1. Okay. And then we have to execute our increment operator. Counter plus plus. I want to increment only once. So I'm using counter plus plus. And then, yeah, this goes on. So hope you understood this particular code, right? Any questions? Let me know. Let's execute. So yeah, here you can see the output. So it's going to be from 1 to till 100, right? I want to change it to 10 only. No, let's say 12. Debug only 12. Okay, right? So this is how we write our loop. Okay, so we are making use of the counter value to be displayed here. Okay, this is the difference between the previous program and this one. So let's go ahead and do the next one. Right. So write an Apex program to print the even numbers between 50 to 100. Okay, right. So this one, how you are going to do it? Can anyone guess? Okay, so integer, I'm taking it as even, the variable name. I know counter name, counter variable only, but I want to take it as even. Okay, 50 to 100, right? So I'm taking it initially as 50. So let's do our while statement, while iterative statement. Yep. Now the condition. Even is less than or equals to 100. And okay. So what do we need to print the message? Can anyone say the even number is or something like that? The next even number is, oh, I use double quotes. That's why it's giving. I'll give a space. Yeah. Okay. And I'm printing my even value. Now tell me, what should I do? I want only the even numbers. So I'm just printing the 50 since 50 is an even number. So next I wanted to print 52, right? So in even variable, I have number 50. I wanted to print 52. What should I do? Any guesses? Samant?
No, just thinking about that.
Yeah, it's 50. We have 50 and we want to next one to be 52. What should we do?
Even plus 2.
Okay. Even plus 2. Right. So we are going to make use of an operator called this one. Can we write it this way? Even plus equals to 2. This means even is equals to even plus 2. This is equals to even is equals to even plus 2. So this is same as this one. Okay. That means this is same as this one. So we are going to make use of plus equals to. right? We can do this way, or we can also do even plus plus for 2 times, right? But since here it's just easy, so we can do even plus plus 2 times, but this is bad way of writing the code, okay? If it is plus 5, this will be the easy one, right? So this 2 lines of code, this is 1 line of code, so that's the easy one. So we will have to make sure we write the code efficiently also. So right, so this is how you write even plus equals to 2. So that means 50. Now 50 is printed. 50 is equals to 50 plus 2, 52. 52 less than 100, true. Next, 52 is printed. Then it goes, then increments 54. 54 less than or equals to 100. Again, 54 prints. So 50, 52, 54, something. It goes on. It prints all the even numbers until 100. And it prints 100 also because we have used equal to operator. Okay, right. Let's execute. Okay, so 50, and from 50 we have 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, and it goes till 100. Okay, right. So this is how we need to do. Any questions here? We are good, right? Okay, so this is how we need to print the values for our even, to print the even values. Okay, between 50 to 100. So this is our scenario. And yes, we have written that particular code. Right. So now there is one big one. Write an Apex program to generate the mathematical table. So I will enter a number, and for that I need a mathematical table to be printed. How do I do this? We're making use of the while statement again. So let's go ahead and write down. Do you want this as a assignment to your home? All right, just do the practice of all the things which we are doing in class. Yeah, let's go ahead and write down this one. Okay. So here, how many variables do we need? Integer. So for me to write a table, 20 into 1 is equals to 20, 20 into 2 is equals to 40. So for that, how many variables are needed for? Can anyone guess? I have to write it and show, otherwise you will not be understanding, right? Okay. So how many variables are needed now? 20 star 10 is equals to 200. So I have to print this way, the table. Okay. How many variables are needed now? Variables. Okay. So first thing is we will have to store our number, which we are going to print the table of it. Okay. That's the number. Okay. So that is one variable. And second one is, do we need to store the result? No, we just need this one to get incremented, right? So this is our counter. So first one is the number. Second one is the counter, right? So let's say number, our number, or let's say table, comma, counter, and I wanted to initialize it as well, counter 1, and table, which table you want, you can say, let's take, initially, let's take like 10 table. Okay, we will make it run for different numbers later. Okay, so yeah, and then now we need to write our while statement. Okay,
Not sharing the screen, Dilip.
this switching is problem. Okay, so first one is integer, that is table number, and then counter. Okay. So while, so what will be the condition? So we need to print a table when I say 1 to 10 only, right? Usually. So we need to check for counter value to be less than or equals to 10, right? And what do we need to write in the block? What do we need to write? We need to display the table. System.debug. Okay. And then how we are going to write our table. Table. And plus. So I want to print the star. Okay. Next what? So 10 into 1, the counter, right? So the counter value. So we just need to add plus counter. Okay. And then when 10 into 1 is equals to, we have to print is equals to, right? So let's print that is equals to, right? And then what do we need to print? What do we need to print? Plus, after is equals to, we need to print the multiplication, right? That is our table star counter. And this needs to be printed together. So I'm just putting braces, operator precedence, we have to check, right? Table 10 into 1 is equals to how much? 10 into 1, the display of this, right? And then close this. Okay, good, I guess. And then we will have to increment our counter value. Good. Any doubts here on this particular line? Okay, so by default, our system.debug statement, it's going to print the variables if the variables are defined, else it will print it as a string. Okay, so table we have variable, so it's printing, and anything which is enclosed within single quotes, it's a string, so it's going to display the star as it is, and this counter value it is going to get it here, and is equals to, it is going to display as it is. And yeah, the place indicates the concatenation. Okay, so the place is for adding it to after equals to. So, and the value of this calculation, why I mentioned in parentheses, it has to be calculated. So multiplication operator here it's a symbol. Okay, here it's an operator. Okay, so I want to calculate this and then display that value here. Okay, and then I'm incrementing the counter value. So now it's 10 table. It's going to display the 10 table. Hope everything is correct, right? Yeah, semicolon, right? While loop, parentheses, you have to check. Yeah, we are good, right? So let's go ahead and execute. So it's just 10 table that is going to be get printed. Yeah, this is how our 10 table looks like. Okay, 10 ones are 10, 2s are 20. All right, so let's execute 4 different numbers. So if I want, why only 10 table? I want 22 table. Okay, and why a table should show only 10 when 10 tens are only, why it should show, why don't it show like a multiplication up to 20? Yes, we can do it. If you change here, that's it. So it's going to print 22 table up to 20. Okay, 22 tens are 220, 2220s are till 2220s are 240. Sorry, 2220s are 440, right? Yep, 440. So it's going to print up to there. Okay, so we can just change simple this variables and then it's going to print a table for us. Okay, let's go ahead, execute, debug only, right? So here is your 22 table up to 20, right? So this is how you can write the code. I'm just making it as 10. So you can give the complex number you want, 134 or something like that, 134 table. Yep, you can go ahead and execute. Right, here is our 134 table. Yep. All right, so we are good, right? Hope you understood this particular line of code. Yes, no?
Yes, Dilip.
Okay, thank you. Any doubt? Yeah, any doubt, let me know. You can stop me anywhere, okay? These are simple programs, of course, but still, if we understand the basics initially, probably complex ones, we can do it easily. So this is about writing the while statement. So let's go ahead and work on do while. So do while statement is a post checking statement. So which iterative statement, which checks the condition at the end of execution. Okay, so our mm, program block, the block of statements are going to be executed one time first, and then after executing one time, then it is going to check the condition. So in scenarios like we need to execute the block of statements once and then check the condition, so like post checking condition. So in that case, our do while statements does. Okay, so first it executes the block of statements, and at the end of the block, it is going to check for the condition. That's why it is called as post checking iterative statement. Do while iterative statement will execute the statements at least once. Okay, so once the block of statements are going to be executed at least once. But whereas in our while while statement, it can be like the block of statements cannot be executed even once also, right? It's 0 times also if the condition is not met. But here, since the condition is being checked post the execution of block of statements. So it's going to execute the block of statement at least once. Okay. Let me share. Right. So this is how the syntax looks like. Do the statement block of statements here. Okay. And close parenthesis while conditions. Okay. So it's going to execute this block of statements once, and then it is going to check the condition. Okay. So that's why it is called as post checking iterative statement. Right. So let's go ahead and do a small Apex program for this. Write an Apex program to print odd numbers between 1 to 100 and in the reverse order. Okay. So let's go ahead and do. So odd numbers we have to print, and that too in reverse order. Right. So let's go ahead and write down this particular piece of code. Yep. So here, let us write down this particular piece of code. Okay. So here, what do I need? I just need only how many variables? Integer. I'm going with the counter again. And the counter value, I'm initializing it with 99 because I wanted to print all the odd numbers starting 99, and it has to till 1. It has to come reverse. Okay, 99 to 1. Okay, so integer 99, 1, and let's start our do statement. Do, and then the block of statements which we want to execute. system.debug odd number is plus my counter. Okay, and then I have to put the semicolon, right? So here, yeah, we were doing for even numbers, right? What should I do here? Can anyone see? Here, what should I write? The condition, the
Counter minus
operator.
nil.
Yep. Counter minus
Minus
equals
plus
to,
equals to
no plus, minus only.
minus.
Minus equals to 2. This means counter equals to counter minus 2. Okay. Right. And let's execute our while condition. Okay. So do, and then here it is going to check the condition. Again, counter is, so I have to check till greater than or equals to 1. Okay. Right. So, and then here semicolon. Okay. So this is how our do while statement looks like. Okay. Integer counter 99. I'm taking the, initially I'm taking the odd value. Okay. I'm printing it. So it's, if we take integer as 100 and we are not doing any operation, this will be a problem because 100 is going to be printed first, which is not an odd number, right? So in do while statement, the statements are going to be, the block of statements are going to be executed at least once without actually checking the condition. Okay. So first a block of statements are executed once and then it is checking the condition, right? So odd number is this one. I just printed it and then I have subtracted 2 from it and then it gives an odd number, right? Counter. So again, it is checking 99 minus 2 is 97, 97 greater than or equal to 1, true. So it goes to the do statement again, executes this block of statements. Okay, so this is how the flow works in this particular set of statements. Hope you understood. Any queries? Yeah, this, if you don't understand, it's just easy, readable way. Counter is equals to counter minus 2. This is the statement, okay? We are writing it as counter minus equals to 2. Counter equals to counter minus 2, right? The same, both are same. We are just reducing the number of characters. All right, so this is how we can print. Let's go ahead and execute it, and it should print 99 to 1, all the odd numbers. Okay, so let's execute. Click on debug only, right? You can see the result, right? 99 to complete till the end, 1 inclusive because we selected equal to operator in the condition. So if we are like using only greater than 1, probably 1 will not be printed. It will be printed till 3 only, odd number, since it's a, we are checking for odd numbers. Right? So 1 is not printed. Okay. Yeah. So this is how we can write a program for the do while statements. Okay. Right. So yeah, this is all about the while statement and do while statements for iterative. So first statement is, okay, let's discuss the concept, but program we will be doing it tomorrow. Right. So for statement is nothing but it's another type of statement, iterative statement, which is just used to check And we were doing the counter operation also, right? So that operation, it's coming into the particular condition. So if you see the syntax, initialization part, conditions part, and increment decrement, we don't need to write the increment decrement in the block. We can write it in the for loop itself. So this is how our for statement looks like. So it's a pre-checking iterative statement which provides an optimized way of using iterative statements. Okay. Why optimized is, so even the counter value we are dealing with the counter value in our do while statements, right? So we are writing it in the block, but here we don't need to write that in the block because we have this as part of the definition of the for loop. So we can write that condition here. We don't need to write it here. So that's why it's an optimized one. It will execute statements repeatedly till the specified conditions are satisfied. So it's again a pre-checking statement, and it's an optimized one. Just because we are avoiding that increment in the loop, we are writing here, and condition initialization, condition, and increment. We can define our variable also here. So that's again an extra statement. So instead of defining a variable on top of our loop, we are defining it in here itself. Okay. And we are checking the condition and then increment decrement operator. So it's an optimized way of iterative statement. So first statement, and it's a pre-checking iterative statement. So this is how the syntax looks like. Okay. So we'll write a program, the same program for the given table with the help of for loop. Okay. So we were writing it in while loop also. We will write it with the for loop, but how we are avoiding the multiple characters of code or multiple lines of code, we can check it, right? We can make the difference between two and then check it. Okay. So this is all about the iterative statements. So we have discussed today the iterative statements, that is while statement, do while statement, and for statement. So for statement, we'll be doing a program tomorrow. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is all for today's class. We'll meet again tomorrow. Have a good day.